Hello guys! I'm going to talk about a city I wasn't living there, but I was living very close and I spent a lot of my time there. But first I have to introduce you to United States, just for we understand a little bit about the States. And the city that I'm going to talk, it's called Washington DC. It's independent a city and also it's a state. It's DC because it's District of Columbia. And the reason I have the map, it's because they do have a state, but the city I'm going to talk is Washington DC. If you look at the map, it doesn't have anything that you can realize the space. There's some maps that you're not gonna able to see the place. But if you put in the Google map, you're gonna realize how it is. So I was living here. My first city that I lived was Annandale in the state of Virginia. And in the second year, I moved to Bethesda. That was a little bit close. So to get into DC, I always have to take metro or Uber. It was really close. It took me like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, depend where I was going. So this is the capital of the United States and it's really, really, really cool. It's always very restrict about security because they have a lot of politics there and everything, but it's really, really cool. And I was thinking about what I should tell you about that city, but I want to tell you the experience that that city gave to me. So first we have all the monuments. It's like a Brasilia. They built the city telling the history of the United States. So if you look here, they have this building that is gorgeous and it's called Capitol Hill. And also they have a neighborhood with that name. So the Capitol, if you look, there is a money, $20, I think, that this building is in that money.
Just
You have the dollar there.
I can look here.
Yeah.
Yes. So and it's really cool. Like it's really cool. And there's many of other places like that. This is the Department of Treasure that you can go. There's some places that you're not gonna be able to get in without to schedule it, but the most great things about that city is that everything is free. There's a lot of museums, events that you can go and it's free. I always have something to do there, and there's stuff that I didn't do, like places that I didn't went, but it was always free. Or some places that you have to schedule to get in. For example, the White House, you have to schedule to get in and pass through the security, like to the extra, I think it is. This is some of the monuments that you can go there. They have a place called Mall. It's a huge place, a green area full of monuments that tell the history of the United States. And they do have a monument for each of the presidents in the United States. This is the Lincoln Memorial. It's ginormous. It's really cool. And I was there, and there is a lot of phrase that inspire yourself because you can see how they fight for their country. So this is the entrance of the monument, and when you climb all the stairs, you're gonna see the statue of Lincoln sitting there, and there's stuff that he wrote in the walls. It's incredible, and you get more contact with the culture and the whole United States thing. And sometimes when you think about United States, maybe you think about Disney, Orlando, or California, and there is this other side that I was able to know, and I love that city. So the buildings there, they are very, very old, like very old, this is. They do have a different capital before Washington D.C. But all the building there has a history behind. It is there is a city like a old town there. There's history about ghosts, like the ghosts that there's a tour that you can do that they tell about the ghost histories in the building, like the cemetery, like it's full of activity. This is the PNC Bank. It's very close to the White House. There are other banks. This is one of my favorite museums there. Is the Air and Space Museum. There's a lot of airplane, space objects like astronaut poles, like a lot of stuff, and it's all free. Yeah. Like it was. There's the other museum that is the Natural Museum of History that they have the animals and that kind of stuff. It's all free to get in. This is another point, the weather there. They have the 4 seasons there. So I was able to live there for 2 years around there. So each month or each season, they have different activities. I'm going to show you some of them. You can see the building that we saw on the Google Maps. This is the Capitol. So there's this huge grass in front that connect to the other monument on the other side. And this area is very nice to do picnics. They do a lot of events there, like cultural events. They bring other culture to performs their culture there. There's something that happens every weekend there. There's a food truck festival. Yeah, it's like this is my favorite monument there. This is my favorite monument there. Is the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. It's in front of a lake, and in this space have Cherry Blossom Festival. Do you know cherry? Like the tree, the cherries. It's beautiful. And each year the cherries has a different color. First year that I was there, they were more pink. And the second year I was there, they were more white because the winter was more severe. Yeah, was one of the first time that I was in that space. And you can see I have a light jacket, so it wasn't that cold. And you can do the turn around the lake, just walking. So you get this way, and then you pass through the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, and then you come back. It's beautiful, and there's people that like to run there. And so this is the Thomas Jefferson. He was a very important president. This in the walls you can see the Constitution parts, and he was a lawyer too. So gonna be connected to their culture, like their history, how the country was building, all the wars that they fight for on their thing, on their constitution. There's a lot about racism, like, and this is the cherry blossoms, and there's like a long area where you see the cherries, but it's just by the month. They just are there for a month or something. It's beautiful, and when they start to fall, look like it's something magic. I don't know how to explain, but it's very beautiful. And it's a Japanese tree. So this is the way that you walk to the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, and you walk under the cherries. Like, it's gorgeous. And so in the lake you can do this. This is another activity that I did there. It's also in DC. They do have a river that cuts the state, so it's called Potomac River, and they do that kind of sports. The other sports that the one that you stand up on it. Oh, this is the front of the White House. It was very nice to be there. I was always feeling that I was in a movie because everywhere I was looking for was like. So one thing about the White House is not big as you imagine. It's very small. I have more pictures. This was a tour that I did in the garden. So there are many tours that you that you can do it. But to the White House, you have to have an invitation to go, or you have to schedule for the tour inside of the White House. You have to contact to a politic, and then they're gonna give you something, and you can make a group or something like that, and you have to have your passport, ID, documents, and there's a time that you're gonna be there. I have some pictures. This was in the garden.
Has it been inside?
Yes. So there's 3 tours. The garden, inside of the White House. There's another one. I don't remember. So this is a building, a Trump. This is a hotel for the Trump. I don't know if you can see the letters. Just to have an idea how is the street there. Like the buildings are all like that. They're beautiful. Like the engineers like to go there. They have good museums that talk about aviation and that kind of stuff, like that works with engineering. So they have a street that is a Chinatown. Most of the big cities, I think that they have that city, and they have a lot of parades for everything. This city is a multicultural city because they have embassy for all over the world. So all the embassies are there. Brazil has 2 so one is the embassy of Brazil, and the other is it's a different institute that they are like in a mission something. So they have 2 institutes that are there. Like a lot of Brazilians work there from the government. This is one of the streets, and this was a parade against guns. So everything happened in that city. And this was a parade against guns that I went because they have all that case where the student was using guns on the street, and they do have the signs and everything. This is another museum, and this is a Van Gogh. Do you remember artistic class?
Yeah.
So this I don't know if you're gonna remember that picture, but I went to this museum and I was able to see a Van Gogh paint, and it was free. I didn't have to pay. So I like to say that and stamp on that, because if you're going to go to a different state, you probably had to pay $40 to get in a aquarium or a museum or something like that. Because I did travel around the United States, and I have to pay for some of places. And in this area, most of the places are free to go. You have many of activities to do it, and it's easy to travel around there. Very easy. It's opposite than the California side, because there you have to have a car to ride there to travel around. They don't have a good metro system or something like that. This is one of my favorite places there too. Is a part of a museum. It's like this is called the Gallery Museum. And this space, they have 2 huge machines that make the air pure. You feel so good there. Like the air that you breathe is, I don't know how much 100% is pure, but you feel really good there. And something about that city is that all the time I feel there that everything was fake, because the flower was so beautiful that you couldn't say that it was real. Like also on the street they have the plants, the gardens, it looks like so unreal, but it was real. But it was like, once that they were the capital, they have to have a good take care of everything. But this is in front of the capital, is a kite festival. We have many types of festivals there. You can see it's spring to summer, something. So it's full of people, and this is the metro. So but you can see how huge it is. Huge. And they have a metro system there under the ground. that is so impressive. Like the way that the metro goes and how they cross the lines and everything. And this was a day that I was able to visit a lot of country. And one day they have weekends, for example. 1 week is from the European embassy, so you can visit all the countries and you visit the embassies, right? And another week was the South America, like the American embassies, and that goes. And this was one embassy and my friend. So this is it, the people bring their culture there. This was what I most loved there. Like I was in love there. I was able to go to a temple. Like they opened the temple in the embassy there, and we have to wear the things on the head and everything. This was like they pass to the world the Indian culture.
Okay, not the.
Like it's the culture that south of Brazil doesn't exist. Just like they don't know what is Rio Grande do Sul. A little bit of people that are more that traveling more, they know Niagara, Foz do Iguaçu, for example. That is the second biggest waterfalls. And this is the tourist side of the White House. It's very simple, like it's not that big that you imagine. But there is a secret about the White House.
It's not white.
It is white, but most of the structure is underground.
Really?
Is underground.
Really?
Yeah, most of the structure of the White House, like there is a secret, there is a whole mystery underground.
Yeah, you could go there.
No, you can't. Like it's like a secret. No one's know that if this is true. So this is the United States flag. So I couldn't record inside. If you see that thing here, it's saying that you can record inside. This was one of the room. They have a couple of rooms. And this is the other side. So the first picture that you saw me was the back of the White House, and this is the front of the White House. Oh, this is a friend. This is a font, very important. Is in the middle of a neighborhood called Dupont Circle. Is there when all the parties happen. And the structure of the city is very curious. They have a lot of circles. They make this city like that, thinking about a war or somebody wants to do something. It's full of circles to make the opponent confused to get in the city and to get in the White House, for example, to get in the secret force or something. So it's full of that type of circles, and you have to be careful, don't get confused when you drive there, because they have like our circles here, but it's more confused because there are many other streets that come and match in the circle. So this is me, and in the Capitol Monument, this is a space that everybody hang out there, and this is a special picture. This friend is from Ukraine. She speaks 4 languages, and this friend is American. This is a guy from São Paulo. This guy I just met that day, and this girl is from Santa Catarina. And we were always hang out there, like Sunday afternoon. Very nice place to hang out. And this is another picture of the White House, just for you to understand. This is the front of the White House, and it's small. Like it's not big that you think. And this is a park, a space in front of the White House. They have a very beautiful trees and grass, like open space there. And this is the Lincoln Memorial, but this day is the 4th of July. It's the biggest celebration in the United States, it's 4th of July. And I think that like everywhere there, they will celebrate their independence, but it's huge. People go to the street to see the fireworks, and that area is full of people waiting for the fireworks to come. And this is one of the sunset there. They have a lot of rooftops. It's a different style of pubs, and like it's just a restaurant in the top of the building where you can hang out and drink. And it's a very nice space in Daia, and you can have this type of view. I extremely recommend to go there. For there is many type of exchange programs that you can do there. Brazil has an embassy there. They had a project to teach Portuguese there. Like Portuguese teacher can sign up and go there and teach because there's people that want to learn Portuguese. Is this? I hope you like it. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.